question tonight comes from Steve Gelbs.
Hey, Rob, what'd you make of your outing tonight?
Still trying to figure things out there. But we got to get out there and do a better job for the team. But, it was a great team win. The bats were awake today. And our bullpen arms, did a great job. Just try to keep it rolling.
When you say still trying to figure things out up there, is that more of a, routine thing, trying to figure out how to get back into that, starters routine? What gets you, ready to start games, or is it something else? Because you had that one appearance out of the bullpen where, you certainly look to be relatively locked in. So what precisely are you working on right now? I'm
just trying to, repeat my delivery, make it very consistent as I can. But, I'm still trying to get my legs under me, my arm under me. I kind of missed, summer camp. So I'm still trying to, that was a big miss, of being hurt. But, I'm just still trying to build up and be strong as I can.
Next question comes from Tim Britton.
Hey, Robert, you kind of mentioned it. How hard is it making that transition to the rotation, not just because you've been in the bullpen for a couple of years, but because you didn't have that full build-up in spring or summer camp?
It's definitely not easy, but, I signed up for it. So I'm just going to keep, preparing myself and build on it and not get down on myself and just keep looking forward.
Thanks.
Next question is from Tony DeComo.
I guess on the other side of that, how much easier is it when every time you start a game, the Mets score 11 runs?
I love it. Hope they keep it up. Hopefully they can do that every day. It'll make life easier.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time this evening, Robert. Luis, your first question tonight comes from Steve Gelbs.
Hey, Louis, after the weekend in Philadelphia, what can a night like tonight do for the group?
Well, it's a great start of this series. And then, like I said it this afternoon, our focus has got to be one game at a time. I thought, the guys detached whatever happened yesterday. They did a great job today. They showed up, they play ball with the bats, and I thought the bullpen did a good job as well.
Robinson Cano, certainly hasn't skipped a beat since returning off the IL. What have you seen in his at-bats over the course of the season that has allowed him to perform at this level?
Well, Roby's able to stay back longer now. I thought that the work that he put in his lower half, it's helped him. He's able to stay more within his legs. Every time he's able to stay back, he can drive it everywhere. And, he did some of that tonight. The homers, but able to drive the ball the other way. I thought he was, it shows that he's able to stay within his lower half better and see the ball better.
Next question comes from Mike Puma.
Louis, it looks like, a week plus ago that Pete had gotten going, and now, then he went into a little bit of a drought here. But, with a game like tonight, what are you seeing that makes you think maybe he can extend this here and get on a legitimate roll?
Who are we talking about? I'm sorry, Mike. Up with Pete?
Pete, yeah.
Oh, I the other day I was just talking about it because he's been going like this, and then then he has a couple of games where he doesn't show the same approach. Like I thought, I don't know if you guys noticed, but he was like really hitting the brakes on some of the pitches. And the second home run, the first homer was off a slider. I thought it was a little bit off front, but he was able to catch it with his strength and hit it over the wall. But majority of the pitches that weren't in the zone, that bounced for him to chase, he took him. I thought he was taking those in a very good form, staying back, seeing it enough. And then the fastball he hit, the height of it is the fastball that he usually, can extend his hands to. So that means that he's also another guy that stay back really well to see the ball longer and trusted, his hands and the speed of the bat that he can provide. So if he can be consistent doing that and bring it back tomorrow, and we're we're going to see some really good at bats and some really good results, moving forward.
Thank you.
Next question comes from Tony DeComo.
Hey, Louis. I know batting order only, batting positions for these guys only matter so much. But for a guy like Pete, who was used to batting second, third most of last year, do you think at all it could have lit a fire under him to be batting sixth today?
I don't know. We did not talk about the position where he was where he was hitting in the lineup, pre-game or even now post-game, that we did not talk about. One of the things that we're doing is separating the lefties and making sure that there's a righty in between. The Marlins have 3 lefties in there for their bullpen, and JD's been taking a lot of quality at bats. I think he walked 2 or 3 times again tonight. And Pete behind Robbie, and having Dom behind Pete, like it gives a lot of protection. And there's so many things that can happen there. If they want to match up a lefty against Robbie like they did, and Robbie struck out, but then Pete faced a lefty, hit a homer. So there's a lot of things that can happen from just having the order itself. And Pete ended up being 6 tonight, and and that was the case. I mean, there's no it's being demoted or pushing him down further away or anything like that. The reason why we put him there tonight.
Thank you.
Next question comes from Ken Davidoff.
Hey, Louis, just taking out Gsellman when you did in the second, obviously paid off. What was the thinking there?
Well, similar to his first start, we thought the first inning was with a lot of stress. That's one. His sinker was, sinker two-seamer was really going arm side, or sometimes he was pulling it, so the command wasn't entirely there. So the stress from the first inning, and then the second inning, the struggle of the command. I thought, we were seeing him almost in a point that he was getting tired by 2 innings of work. 2 long innings. This is a guy that we're just starting to stretch, and that's immediately when we went to Shreve. Shreve, this is a guy that responded really well for us. He's done it twice. When he has to come early in the game, it's given us, those 2 innings, and that one time gave us 2+. So, G just to keep building him up, working with him and making sure that his command is there, so his pitch count, can stay at a number that he can keep going in a game, and he can do that. There's a kid that can pitch for contact. He can induce a lot of grounders, and we've been playing really good defense, so it's something that we should start working with him so he can implement it in games.
Thank you.
Next question is from Enrique Rojas.
Hola Luis, después de una barrida con los Phillies, venir a jugar con el equipo que está líder de la división, ¿cuál fue el cambio de mentalidad? Que ustedes como que salieron con todo, como si estuvieran jugando un partido de finales de septiembre. Háblame de la mentalidad después de una barrida, cómo se enfrenta el próximo juego en una temporada tan corta.
Bueno, Enrique, nosotros en todos los juegos salimos así. Los muchachos siempre están peleando, están batallando, siempre estamos en los partidos. Algunos se nos han ido de las manos, que fueron esos 3 en Filadelfia particularmente. Estuvimos ahí en todo y de verdad se nos fueron de las manos, ya sea un inning o diferentes cosas que nos pasaron. En el partido de hoy, de la misma manera, caímos debajo en un primer inning y tenemos a un abridor que no está totalmente estrechado, así que ya tenemos un poquito de adversidad, pero yo pienso que los muchachos, como tú dices, salieron a pelear como lo hacen todos los días, y este día pudimos poner muchos turnos de calidad en consecución, y eso de verdad dio el resultado de toda la carrera anotada que tuvimos. Los jonrones de Robbie, los jonrones de Alonso, bateando uno atrás del otro, ahí esa producción y los muchachos que pueden envasarse fue el resultado del día de hoy. Así, y tuvimos algunas personas que nos ayudaron a salvar el bullpen, como el trabajo que hizo el zurdo Shreve, pero también hay que destacar el trabajo que hizo Franklin Quilomé viniendo del bullpen y tirando esa última 3 entradas para salvar algunos de los brazos y así estar disponible en los próximos días también.
Next question comes from Roger Rubin.
I got 2 for you, Louis. The first one is about Cano. When the Mets made the trade for him, he had a very unsuccessful season last year. There were moments, but it wasn't the real Robinson Cano. Do you think that what we're seeing here indicates that there is a lot more to Robinson Cano in his career than what we have seen?
Well, he's showing the kind of hitter that he's always been in this game, since he landed in the, at the big league level. And that's what he's doing right now. I think, and I said this earlier when we had camp, is that Robinson learned a lot last year. There's no matter how many years you played, at the big league level, no matter how many experiences you have, there's always a learning curve. And for him as a veteran, as an all-star, everything that in his resume, you still learn. And I thought last year he learned some things, that he can add to his workouts and stuff, in order to be more prepared, to the upcoming season at his age. So that's something that he did very well, I thought, this year, and he continues to do. And you can see that in the game. He's able to maintain more strength, and he's now being able to incorporate more of that lower half that I was talking about at the beginning of this Zoom when I answered Steve's questions. Now he's staying back on the ball and he's able to drive it and see it longer. So that's one of the things that Robinson did as an adjustment from last year to this year. Last year, the struggles to stay on the field, from the health perspective, like that's what stopped his momentum each time that he was climbing up and going to be that Robinson Cano that we're seeing right now.
Second question is more about Alonso. There's a long history of guys being rookies of the year and then the league adjusting them and setting them back a step. How do you see that trend for Alonso? He's had some moments where he's really struggled, and then he has nights like tonight.
It's everything's a learning process in this game. As a baseball player, like you just said, teams learn you and they study you. They don't want to get beat by you, especially after the year that Alonso had last year. And that's when that mind war starts, in baseball. Everyone's talented, but now it's just that mental part. The studying and anticipating, preparing to face you in the game, and that's I believe every team is doing against them. And you got to stay mentally strong as well, because that's happening. They're going to pitch you a certain way. You can follow them that way because you may end up going to that path. So Petey's learned a lot of things from that, and he's able to simplify a lot of things that you can start just to make it a little bit complicated. And it's a learning process, and this kid is maturing by the day at the plate, and that's what we're seeing right now. He's making some adjustments. He's working extra. He's always a hard worker, an overworker, and we know we have to monitor that and we have to control that. But we're doing some things with him. We're having different conversations and things that he's able to digest very well, and he can put it in game.
Next question comes from Bruce Beck.
Louis, in your last 6 ball games, you've scored 11 runs twice. You've scored 2 runs twice. You've won 3 games. You've lost 3 games. How do you possibly establish the consistency?
Well, these guys can score some runs, and one of our struggles so far this year has been hitting with runs in scoring position. I thought we did that well tonight, and we've done it well. In the last week we've been better than we were in the previous couple of weeks of the season. So it's something that we're making the adjustment, just to maintain the quality of bats, not only when there's nobody on, or not only when there's no one in scoring position. So the guys are able to do the whole, quality of bat, stay locked in, with the pitch that they're looking for, their plan, their approach. And that's what's going to give us, that sequence of guys doing it, and we're going to be able to score runs, because the guys, this lineup, with the depth and having guys that weren't even in the lineup that are really doing well right now, taking quality of bats and getting on base, we can score some runs. So we are going to face some tough competition. We are going to face some tough pitching. Like we had yesterday, the Zach Wheelers and then Nolan, and they're going to be lights out, and we're going to battle those days as well. So that's going to happen, and there's going to be the other days, that we're going to be able to connect, and we're going to be able to score some runs and grind at bats and make it long at bats and run pitch counts up like we have in the past as well. So it's something that I think that the guys bring every day. and we just trying to make that more consistent when we create those scoring scenarios.
Thank you very much for your time, Luis.
All right, have a good night.
Chasen, your first question tonight comes from Steve Gelbs.
Hey, Chasen, you spoke a little bit about this the other night, how, this is kind of an adjustment for you pitching this long in games. Is it something that, especially on a night like tonight, you early on go in with the mindset of, I'm going to try and give this team as much length as possible?
Yeah. With G still getting stretched out, I think the whole bullpen knows that we need to be ready early. So yeah, when I get out there and I know I got multiples, I just try to pound the zone, throw a bunch of strikes, try to make quality pitches and keep the pitch count low.
Is there any adjustment, or has there been any adjustment to doing that? And do you feel, clearly the results have been there. Do you feel more comfortable now than you did when the idea was first broached?
I wouldn't say more comfortable, just knowing what I have before I have it is nice to know. It's always nice to know when you're throwing the seventh inning or what. So when I know that I'm throwing multiples, it's just nicer to know. But to touch back what you said, I worked on it a lot last year, just pounding the zone, like letting my stuff work. And I think it's helped me a lot. So that's what I've been trying to do for most of the year. Me and Hef have been talking about it, just pounding the zone and attacking the hitters, and it's worked out well so far.
Thanks.
Yeah.
The next question comes from Ken Davidoff.
Hey, Chasen, you've been part of really good bullpens before. Just wondering how satisfying it is to know that we're on a heavy load tonight, but we can handle it.
Yeah, I've said that a bunch actually. It's just we have so many guys down there that can throw multiples, and it's actually really, really nice and reassuring that almost everybody down there can throw two at least. So it helps us out a lot.
Thank you.
Yep.
Chasen, thank you for your time this evening.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
Robinson, your first question tonight comes from Steve Gelbs.
Hey, Robbie. Luis was just talking about the work that you've done with your legs, making sure that you're staying back a little more. What exactly has that allowed you to do? And why has that contributed to this type of a start to the season for you?
Well, I think when you have your legs, that's the biggest weapon of any athlete. Once you have your legs that you can use, and you'll be able that drive the ball as a hitter, or even when you're running, if you have your leg, that's, like I said, that's the biggest weapon you can have.
Is that something that you didn't have at points last year? Is it? I know you put an emphasis on working on different parts of your legs just because of some of the injuries, but is there anything else that you put an emphasis on?
I don't want to say I didn't have it last year. You see, injuries can happen to anyone, and once you get one injury, I don't want to say it's hard to recover, but it's kind of like there's always something else in your body that gets tight because you use more than anything. Like when I have my hamstring, so I had to work more on my quad because you force more your quad than your hammies, and either any other kind of injuries. You're always gonna force one leg more than the other one. But I don't want to say I didn't have my legs that high because once I get back that I was healthy and able that get my swings. Also last year I got hit 5 times in the hands, so it's kind of like sometimes I went out there even my hands were sore. But for me, I like to go out and play the game.
Why do you think you've been able to hit the ground running off of this latest injury the way that you have? Why have you been able to keep it up the way you had prior to the injury?
I would say because I work hard. I've been in this game for so long. I always work hard, and there's time like not only for me, for anyone that's been in this game for so long. There's always gonna happen. You get injured, and all you gotta do is just fight that and work your way through.
Next question comes from Mike Puma.
Robbie, you're hitting 412. What do you think about staying over 400 for the rest of the season? Can you do it?
Well, anybody can do it, not only me, but it's kind of like that's not what is in my mind right now. I just to help this team to win games and be able to, make it to the playoffs.
And Alonso hitting a couple of bombs tonight. What are you seeing with him? Do you think he's back on track here?
Well, I see him work so hard in the cage, find a way, and it was great to see him come out tonight that way in a big way, hit 2 homers. Because I know as a hitter, the way like what he did last year, especially his first year, never been through a situation like this, and kind of come back to that, and then I'm so happy for him, and I can't wait to see him be the same guy that he was last year.
Next question comes from Disha Thozar.
Hey, Robbie, just how much are you paying attention to personal stats that you normally would in a 162-game season?
Honestly, not that much. I mean, I'm not a stat guy. Whatever I know or I see is whatever I know is because I see it on TV or because I like to watch MLB. I like to watch what the other teams do around the league. Because by the time we face them, I can have an idea how they play and what they're doing, and that's how I am. But I don't really pay attention to that.
Next question comes from Tony DeComo.
Hey, Robbie, between you and Pete, and even Conforto was on base 3 times tonight, what does it do to an opposing team when the middle of the order is kind of hitting in that way and just continuously wearing those pitchers down?
Well, I would say tonight, see them take how do you pronounce his last name? Yamamoto. Once you take your starter really early, you have to go to the bullpen, to the long man, and we was able to take advantage of that. They was throwing pitches over the plate, and something that we was, a lot of us, including myself, we were missing. And but tonight was good. See everybody contribute in different ways, and that's the team we are. No matter who we face, we can compete with anyone.
Thank you.
Next question comes from Daniel Reyes.
Saludos, compadre.
Dígamelo.
Hábleme del enfocamiento. Cuando ustedes vienen de 3 derrotas, se enfocan y le ganan a los Marlins, y ese buen partido que tuvo con 2 cuadrangulares esta noche.
Bueno, tú sabes que así es el juego. Tú pierdes una serie o pierdes un juego, tienes que voltear la página y estar preparado para el próximo juego. Y eso fue lo que hicimos esta noche. Vinimos y nos concentramos, olvidamos lo que pasó en Filadelfia, y esta es una serie nueva, empezar de nuevo.
Next question comes from Roger Rubin.
Robinson. Last year, the season did not treat you well. There were the hit by pitches and there were the injuries. But my sense was that you always believed that there was so much more left in you than what the numbers looked like.
Yes.
You describe how you feel about going into this season and performing the way that you have, and really what is left in the tank of Robinson Cano.
I mean, it feels good to see the way that I've been doing, and but not also the way I've been doing numbers wise, just help the teams to win games, and that's why I brought here from Seattle. And then, like I said last year, I mean, it's kind of a little bit frustrating because once you get high, you get injured or get hit by pitch, and for me, there's a lot of in the tank because I'm always work hard, and I'm the kind of guy that no matter the situation, I'm never gonna put my head down. I've been in this kind of situation before, and then any athlete go through a tough situation during their career.
Thank you, Robinson.
You're welcome.
Robinson, thank you for your time this evening.
All right, guys. Good night. Thank you.